I guess that nicely leads on to our next question, because there might be some people listening thinking, wow, not only were you traveling around the world, but you've also been teaching at the same time. And they might be thinking whether they want to do the exact same thing or if they just want to, get into teaching as a whole. What's one bit of advice that you would say is very valuable for them to have?
I think one of the biggest pieces is building rapport with the students. If they don't trust you, if they don't feel comfortable around you, they're not going to be inclined to listen to you, put forth an effort, or even just try, depending on the age, or even show up. So I think one of the biggest things for me was building rapport with students, and then not being afraid to embarrass myself, not being afraid to do something that was going to fail, because a lot of teaching is learning while doing. So don't think you're going to go into a classroom, you're going to have your lesson plan, you're going to be prepared. I had so many lessons. I was like, we're going to do this for 5 minutes, this for 10 minutes, never works out. It's always like the thing I think they're going to do quick takes them forever. The thing I think that's going to take forever, they do in 5 minutes. So I think definitely building rapport and then being afraid to fail. One of the biggest things that connected me to my students in Italy, because I didn't have a lot of experience, I was kind of just seeing what worked. And at the end of each lesson, I took some words from, or some phrases from our lesson, and had them teach it to me in Italian. So now they're seeing their teacher learn another language. I'm butchering the pronunciation. I don't know which word goes where. And so they're thinking in their mind, like, okay, my teacher is terrible at my language. I don't have to be perfect in her language either. So just being open to not being perfect. Nobody thinks that you're going to be perfect at it. And a lot of times you plan and then life just happens. You go in the classroom, the kids don't feel like doing anything today. Okay, you got to think of something on the go, or the kids are super engaged, but you had something chill planned. So it's definitely just learning on the go and not being afraid to kind of just fail forward.
Yeah, and like you were saying that, I guess I've got two parts of that. So the first part, like you were saying about, learning with the children is definitely key, because like you said, I know some of the events that we were doing with especially like you said, with young children, like sometimes when we did like these workshops and we were saying, oh, we need you guys to figure out how to get around this map from A to B, C to D, and in this order, and you have to make your like robot go this way. And then some of them, you especially like younger classes, you might think, okay, these guys, it'll take them maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20. And then in 5 minutes, they're just like, yeah, we're done. And you're just like, wow, okay. And then like you said, with some older classes, they might be thinking, oh, actually, it might take a bit longer. You might say, oh, that's actually going to take them 10 minutes, but that's actually going to take most of the class 20. And yeah, I think like you said, each individual class is definitely different. And I think, like you said, it's that building rapport with them. I know that was one of the things that we, when I was leading workshops, that's one of the things that I always love doing is, when you'd make a competition out of stuff and you'd be like, all right, guys, we'll say it together and do stuff like this. They always get involved and they always find it fun. Even like you said, doing, whether it's you do competitions, with yourself and a member of the class, they always like that, because I guess every child likes to have the right to say, yes, I was the one that embarrassed the teacher in front of everyone. So I definitely agree. And I know even, and I guess there's a second thing of my personal experience with teachers, for me at least, was like you said, that the fact that a lot of them would connect with you, and sometimes it wasn't even just stuff, I guess, that's in the program. Like you said, one of the things I loved about some of my teachers is they would always make things engaging. So I did drama, I guess, when I was at secondary school. And one of the things that happened there was that my teacher did this activity, which was really fun. It's called Stop the Bus. Essentially, it'd be just, two people would start a scene. It could be on whatever they wanted. And then one of the, someone in the audience has to shout, stop the bus. And then they go into that scene and then they can turn it into whatever they wanted. And it's all supposed to show you how improvisation, you can just improvise things on the spot. And I think especially when I was in younger years at secondary school, that was one of the best things to do, because not only did it help you, I guess, build rapport with the teacher and your classmates, but it also kind of you know, people weren't upset if like if things got awkward. It just got really funny because people are just like, oh, I'm waiting for someone to like let me leave the scene. So yeah, so that's definitely key. And I know even like for my science lessons, like I had a science teacher who specialized in physics, and he always made like physics interesting. So he was saying, so he showed like documentaries or YouTube videos that like showed, you know, how could physics be applied in like the real world. So you know, I guess looking at like if someone is you know, like as a musician, is a stage coordinator and they're like putting in speakers at an event, like how can we ensure that everyone, you know, there's like that key area that no one's losing out sound, but everyone's hearing like the best sound possible. So I really like that. They're like, he never made, or they never made like teaching, like I guess, or learning, I should say rather, boring for me. And I think, like you said, it's just always about putting the students first, making the classes engaging, not like limiting them to stuff. Is always key.
Exactly. And then on top of that, when you really connect to your students, when you learn about your students and their interests, you can kind of tailor the lessons. Like I had a class in Korea that they weren't really interested in much, but if we talked about food, they could talk the whole class. So every day we would talk about a different food and kind of relate it to whatever we're doing. So say we're talking about going on vacation. What are you packing to eat? What do you want to eat on vacation? So that they had those things that they wanted to connect to. And even though that's not the point of the lesson, like there's some aspect of something that is interesting to them. So you can kind of build your lessons in a way that you don't have to pull teeth to get engagement. You don't have to pull teeth to get them to participate by knowing what they're interested in.